back, everybody, and happy Passover and Merry Ramadan too. I think today's is it also Ramadan?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
No, I saw someone on Twitter.
Isn't Ramadan like September?
Yeah, that sounds right. What other holidays are on Easter?
Well, it's not always on Easter. It's just this year.
Yeah. Well, Passover is always on Easter. Like that's
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know what Passover is.
That's the whole deal is like you had to put lamb's blood over your door so that God would pass over your house and not slaughter your firstborn child. Because, God is so awesome that if you forgot to put lamb's blood over your door, he would come in and murder your child.
He was kind of a dick in the Old Testament.
A huge dick, actually.
People forget.
Yeah, people actually do forget. People really do forget. The guy sent a fucking massive flood that wiped out the entire world. He sent a herd of locusts, right? What was the signs of the apocalypse? It was
I don't even know what
he turned the Nile River into blood. Wasn't that one of them?
Then didn't someone have to kill their brother, or someone had to kill their two sons, or
Abraham.
Did Abraham have to kill his kids or something?
Was it Abraham that had to kill his kid, or was Abraham one of the kids?
I
think he was the one that had to kill his kids.
And there was like Cain and Abel. Didn't they like one of them kill each other? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
Yeah, Cain killed Abel, and then for something, I don't know. And then God gave Joseph Smith golden tablets that only he could read.
Right. So, and then God got mad at him for forgetting or losing the original translations. So they were going to be a little bit different the second time.
Yeah. So
yeah, dude, Passover and Easter are not the same day, like automatically. They can be the same day.
Oh.
But they don't often fall precisely on the same date.
Oh. Okay. Well, I think
they're close. Oh, wait. It's all three. All three don't often land on the same time. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they always. Maybe it's a little more common. Maybe it's 50-50. I'll give it. That's my stat. It's 50-50, whether they're going to be on the same day or not.
I will say, I did not know. I'm reading an article right now. I did not know that Passover was an 8-day celebration. These Jews know how to party.
8 days. What 8 days?
They got 8 days of Hanukkah. They got 8 days of Passover. They got Yom Kippur. They got what seems like a holiday every month. They know how to fucking party. It's funny because on the Drinking Bros podcast, Ross Patterson will talk all the time. One of their producers agent, I don't know, someone that works in the company, chief marketing officer or something is Jewish. So Ross shits on him all the time. And he's like, I forget the dude's name, but he goes, is so-and-so working today? Are you sure it's not a Jewish holiday? This fucking guy takes a day off, every month.
I don't even know what the Jewish holiday. I don't know what any of the holidays are, because there's another R, isn't there?
Rosh Hashanah.
Is that Jewish?
That is Jewish. When in doubt, it's probably a Jewish holiday. Like I said, there's literally a fucking million of them. One of them is the Jewish New Year. I don't know which one is which. One is Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
And they're both in the fall, right?
Sure.
I don't know, because I remember it used to be a big deal because in Easton,
Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year.
Okay. Because it in Easton, they used to get all Jewish holidays because there's a large Jewish population. And they also used to get all the Catholic holidays, all of them being just Good Friday, I think. And they stopped doing that. I think it was after the big snowstorm they stopped doing it in Easton.
Hmm.
But I remember there was like 1 or 2 in the fall. And it would have to be Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah.
So Yom Kippur is the holiest day of the year in Judaism. However, despite this title, I cannot figure out what it is. It just says it's a day of atonement. So like, that's it. Like, it's not like someone's birthday or like the Jewish New Year or like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have like a gimmick to it. It's just, nope, it's a day of atonement and it's the holiest day of the year. Oh, you guys kind of really blew it there, didn't you? Like you chose the holiest day of the year to not have a backstory. It's just a day of atonement. Sick.
Atonement for personal sins. Fate of each person is sealed for the upcoming year.
Yeah. But there's no like story to it that I can see. You know, like Hanukkah has like, you know, the refugees were stuck in a cave somewhere and they only had 1 night's worth of oil, but the oil burned for 8 days. So they celebrate and do whatever. And then Passover, I just told you the story. You have to put the lamb's blood over the door. And then Rosh Hashanah is Jewish New Year. It's like all of these have a story to them except for Yom Kippur. And allegedly Yom Kippur is the holiest day of the year.
They call it the Sabbath of Sabbaths.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, hey, look who it is. We have
I'm
a
not
surprise.
satisfied with the way my background looks. Stand by.
We have a surprise guest here. Did you still logged on with the host email? Did he turn his mic off?
Yeah, I don't want you knowing anything. Much better.
You still logged in with Sarcastic Reality.
I feel like it's something we're all just going to have to get over.
No. See, I'm going to fill in the audience now so they know what kind of a cocksucker you are, actually.
Go ahead.
So Spencer goes, hey, send me the link to the Zoom. And I go, no, you have the link because we share the email of Sarcastic Reality at gmail.com. That we split it, right? We talked about this on the show before. Our audience knows. If you're new to the show, welcome. We split it. Our sister show, Reality Tonic, that Spencer here runs. So, well, Spencer is a co-host. I run it. His friend Rob runs the show.
Yeah, okay.
Spencer's just kind of there. But so he goes, send me the link. And I go, no, you have it. Just log in with the email that we both use to record shows. And you go, no, I don't want to use that one. Send it to Reality Tonic Podcast. So I go, fine. I'm sitting at my computer anyway. It's 6:59. I'm about to hit record. So I send an email to Reality Tonic Podcast at gmail.com. And hey, here's the link. And then you sign in with the Sarcastic Reality email still. So why did you ask me to send it to your podcast email?
I'm not following. That's number one. Number two, because it's my podcast. I know you think right now this is your podcast. You're my sister. You're my sister radio podcast thing.
How many episodes you have?
We just celebrated our 10th. Thank you.
Yeah, we got over 350.
What's Ed Bassmaster?
Yeah, well, no, is that? Are you trying to do the opening to your podcast?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know what? And that wasn't even
up to reality.
That's right. That wasn't even stock stuff. That was custom. That was by my buddy Rob. And it's funny you mentioned something that you think Rob basically is in charge, because I decided one day when I was feeling good to say, you know what, Rob, when we make it big, I'm going to do 50-50. Right. And then I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I don't think we do 50-50. Like, I think I do about 80% of the work, and I think he does about 20. Rob's whole thing is, he's an editor. This stuff that you see, like on Instagram and all that stuff, I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Looks standard, looks legit. But Rob's company charges like $20,000-$40,000 for like little clips like that. You know what I mean? Like big name companies and stuff. So in his world, it's actually I'm getting a lot of free things. But in my world, I'm sitting there going, this is so easy for you. That's shame on you for wanting to charge somebody. That's at least how I look at it. I do all the bookings, okay? And as you see, we have very, very interesting guests. I steer the ship, and Rob's just in the background in the control room. You know what I mean? He's not very active on the podcast. You hear him every once in a while. His body will make a weird noise, like, or I have a question, that kind of stuff. But other than that, this is the meat and potatoes right here.
I will say, Rob was a lot more active with Joe Sachs Boston.
Yes, he was excited.
It's the music. Was it the music thing? Because Rob also is into music. Right?
Yes, it was the music thing.
He's a guitarist.
Yeah, he plays guitar and he plays piano. It's a music thing. Joe Sachs is probably one of the most normal ones we've got. Like just a regular guy.
He's just good at the saxophone.
Yeah, just a guy that plays some sax on the weekends.
He's not an Elvis tribute artist or a horrorcore rapper that has totally lost his mind.
Yes, Daniel Dahmer. I don't know if his days are numbered or if other people's days are numbered, but.
Is it too late to add him to the death pool?
That guy's been dead. I don't know the way he runs his life. I mean, he's an interesting cat. I did want to bring up. So we have a very exciting month for our guests. I'll go over the list with you. However, there was one guy that I was very excited about, but we decided to pull the plug on it, and I want to pick your brain to see if that was the right move. So there's this gentleman who. He does TED Talks. He's like the real deal. Like he is a pornography addiction recovery specialist. Okay.
I did not think when you said the word pornography, I did not know what the recovery addiction was.
Yes. So this is just a guy.
Director.
Yeah, I know, right? So this guy has, redheaded dude, looks like a guy that would probably have like a porn issue. You know what I mean? Very, very,
chronic
very nice
masturbator.
Yeah, very nice guy. So basically his whole story, briefly was that, or at least what I thought was, got addicted to the porn, was spending a bunch of money. I'm assuming webcams, he lost everything. So like porn was that active in his life where he lost his wife, lost his kids, was an alcoholic, like the whole thing. And there's things I see online about, talking about especially young men, like you don't want to masturbate or watch too much porn as a male because it does something. There's a couple of these things on there where it, can actually like lower your sexual activity and stuff like that, or maybe not be as attracted to or as faithful to your loved one as you would if you weren't watching pornography. I guess the expectation, all this stuff, it's a mind game, right? So I'm like, it'd be interesting to have this guy on, because he went from a hot mess and now he's turning it all around. He shoots me a message and says, hey, I got a book out, if you want to read the book before our interview, I think that'd be great, whatever. So I'm like, all right. So I check it out. There was like a sample chapter. This dude also was so heavily into porn that he tapped into the chat rooms a little bit, and he was on that. He wasn't on To Catch a Predator, but he got jammed up for talking to a 14-year-old female, had pictures and stuff. Search warrant came out. This is in Maine, and this dude was a city councilor. So he was like very big in the town. So all this stuff is interesting. You know what I mean? Like but it was legit. He was convicted. He did 6 months in prison, and they have all the text messages and stuff of him like trying to get a 14-year-old girl to send him pictures and all that stuff. And apparently they searched his computer, and he did have underage images and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So off of that, would you continue on with the interview? Would you have him, let's say you found out today and you're supposed to be talking with him in 2 hours. Would you have him on your show?
I probably wouldn't late cancel on him. Like if it was 2 hours to go, I wouldn't cancel with that little notice. But I think it would depend on, It would depend on like what he's doing. Like you said that he does TED Talks now and it's like a pornography recovery.
He is
guy.
literally as reformed as you possibly can be as far as everything in his life.
I probably would still do it. Like as much as I sit here and say, you know, like, fuck these pieces of shit, like, you know, for doing whatever they do to kids. Like that is the number one, like there's two things in my world that you don't fuck with, and that's children and animals. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, you want to treat people like shit, go right ahead. You're a douchebag, but like whatever. But you don't fuck with children and you don't fuck with animals. And in his case where he went to jail, right? He did his time. He got out. He's now a recovery person, talks and helps other people. I'd probably still talk to him. Because like it's still, and not that we could go down like a huge rabbit hole on this part. We don't have to, but like I look at it like, regardless of what someone does, there needs to be a path to redemption in my eyes. Like if he got out of jail and went right back to child pornography, no, fuck him, shoot him, go take him out back and give him the old yeller, because I'm done with that. But like he got out of jail, he fixed himself, and now he helps other people. I can't be like, I can't forget what he did, but like, I'm not going to hold it against him, really, if that makes sense.
So the argument, well, actually, before I go, all right, Bob, what do you think?
Yeah. So if it's 2 hours before, I probably still do the interview.
How about 12 hours that same day? Like, let's say it's 7 a.m. and you got to talk to him at 7 tonight.
What I probably try to do, God's honest, is figure out, because the kiddie porn thing's a problem. Right. So I think I would want to, my first instinct was, no, fuck that. But Mello is kind of right. Like, dude, people fuck up. And it's like, if they're doing something about it, okay. But I guess I would want to know more about like, so what are you doing, man? Because if you're only talking about like the porn addiction and whatever, but like, what are you doing about like the child porn or like victims of child porn? Like, are you doing anything? I don't know. Like, that's kind of where I'm stuck.
But see, that's the thing. And that's why it would be great to have him on the podcast. Yeah. You know, I'd ask those questions, or if all three of us were, we would ask those questions. Right. But then the whole, you know, of course, my lovely co-host, Rob, who's scared of his own shadow, brings up the point of, I don't know, man, do you really want to get like a guy like that? Do you want to give him a platform and blah, blah? And basically, do I want to be his path to redemption, right? Is it my platform where I say, tell us your story of, you know, because the porn part of it I thought would be very interesting, especially with males and stuff like that, and to kind of learn like, wow, you really can lose everything to this addiction. But then when you throw the kid thing in there, it's like you said, everything. Jared, and I think basically every other male, the quick thing is like, nope, screw that. Women, children, animals, don't mess with that garbage. Right. Don't want to give you a platform. But I am a huge fan of, you can't just cancel people and throw them away and whatever. Right. But do I want to be the platform that he's on, you know?
Yeah, I think if this was like a couple weeks out, whatever, I would just want to find out like, hey man, like what are you doing now? Like, what are you doing for either victims, prevention? Like, listen, I get it. Like, you're doing the TED Talks and you're going to help, like, you know, whatever males you can, with like pornography addiction, but the other thing's like a whole separate issue.
Right.
Like, and I'm like, so what are we doing there? Mm-hmm. And if I'm cool with what he's doing to, you know, right his wrongs or educate or move on or whatever, then I'd still do it. Cause, you know, anyone that gets their story out there. And the other thing too is he would have to talk about it. If he doesn't want to talk about it, then we're good.
That's a big thing too. Because, I would have to make that clear. Like, there's nothing that's off limits.
Yeah. And it's like, no, man, this is part of your story. And it's like, if you want to, like, you know, come clean, you know, do the right thing, hold yourself accountable or going forward, whatever, and like bring awareness to this shit. And then people can learn off it too. Like, hey, this is what I did, and this is how it got me into the situation it got me in. So if you see these warning signs, you need to fucking get some help. But
And so, but see, that's his thing. Like, he has a book literally like, so your friend's a porn addict, or so here's the story about me. Like, he's writing
Porn addiction for dummies.
yeah, like the book, it's very user friendly. You know what I mean? It's like, it's, you know, it's to the point. The guy, I mean, he's on Instagram, has his wife and his kids back and all that. So my thing is, I'd be fascinated to know, like, how do you clean up that mess, right? And prison, there's so much to unpack, which I think would really be a phenomenal podcast. But I got spooked. I got a little scared. So I didn't tell him no yet. I just, and I have other breaking news too, but I love breaking news. I use COVID as an excuse because the news is that your boy here is a survivor of COVID. I'm just recovering after day 5, and my whole family had it. So like my wife, my 2 kids, and that sucked. So it wouldn't have worked out anyways, but I just told him, like, we're going to have to reschedule. Yeah. But I was just wondering what you guys would think. So basically, let me ask you this. If I said, hey, I can get this guy on the show, on your show tomorrow, would you have him on? Based off of everything I just told you right now, you put your heads together, is the answer yes, or is the answer no?
I think, like to what Bob said, it would have to be a clear, what are you doing now? And you have to agree that nothing is off limits.
Yeah.
And if he would agree to those, if he would agree to the second thing and then expand on the first thing, then yeah, I would talk to him. Because like I said, and like you said too, I don't like the canceling someone forever. Right. And there, like I said before, like there needs to be some sort of path to redemption. And there's a difference, right? Not to keep repeating myself here, but if he got out of jail and went right back to doing what he was doing, fuck that guy. I have no use for him. But because he took the path that he took, it's interesting, right? Like you said, like it would be really interesting. And you could spend, like if you had him on and you talked to him for an hour and a half, you could spend an hour talking to him just about like the porn recovery stuff. And then like maybe 15, 20 minutes on like, you know, the kiddie porn shit that he got.
Or even, hey, you're in jail. I mean, you're legitimately like you're target. You're number one. You're public enemy number one.
Yeah, exactly. World. Like, what was that like?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
So just because of who we are and what we do, I would want a pre-interview. If a pre-interview with him goes okay, I wouldn't be opposed to like the subject matter. The only problem is with the way that we run our show and whatever, there's just nothing to make fun of there. Like there's no jokes, there's no comedy. So we, like, for what we normally do, it wouldn't make any sense because it's way too real of a topic.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, if we talk about sports betting and someone's like, yeah, I was like really down in the weeds on sports betting. One time I put $5,000 on, you know, some crazy favorite to win and they fucking lost. And it's like, then it's like, I had to go like rob a store to like get the money back. And I'm like, yeah, but imagine if that point guard hit that 3, there's some humor there. So like for the subject of our show, I wouldn't have him on our show because there's nothing funny and there's like, we can't keep it light. So like someone could have like real issues and we can keep it light with that person. I just don't think it happens here.
Yeah. I'd be interested to like do a poll and really think about what people would think, because you just never know. You know, you got the whole. What was your immediate answer, Bob? Right away was like,
immediately. I said no.
Nope. You know, but once we get into it, it's like
because then you think about it, it's like I'd be curious. Like, did people try to fucking kill you in jail?
Yeah.
Like what happened during like rec hours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, did you just have to fucking lay low or like some stuff like that? That's almost just curious.
Yeah. But you can't just that was gonna be. I was like, oh, maybe I can just like not mention that part, you know? Like you have to.
You can't tell the story.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know, to be continued on that one, but do have some other good guests. Can I share, or are you guys busy?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. We're busy.
Yeah. Honestly, the only thing we were stumbling our way through trying to figure out the Jewish holidays. So as you were getting on, I go, Hey, you should get a Jewish person on to fucking explain these holidays for us.
There you go. All right. So we're filled with content today then.
Yeah.
So next week I'm having a lady from Australia who she finds animals, like she speaks to animals, like dead animals and stuff. But also, like, if your animal is lost and has been gone for like a week, she can find out where they are, like, telepathically. And so has her business and everything. She's very active on Instagram.
So she's Eliza Thornberry.
Who's that?
Wild Thornberries?
Oh, a wild thorn. I never.
Well, he wouldn't know. He's like 47 years old.
Yes,
so.
I just got a new pair of Kirklands from Costco. So. Kirkland shoes. Yeah. But yeah, so she's gonna be on, which is going to be interesting. And then we have this gentleman he's in the Marines, I believe, or was. And he has been the only guy to successfully hack like the FBI database, like their computer system. And instead of them pressing charges, they like gave him like a government contract. Yeah, they hired him.
I mean, if you can't beat him, hire him, right?
Yeah. And so he has like a couple books out and stuff like that, and he's doing all these podcasts. So we are booked for the 28th, the 20th actually, 420. So he's gonna be coming on,
nice.
and yeah. And then we were gonna have the porn guy, but scratch that for now. But I find those guests to be interesting, and I look forward to you listening to them because I need to get my damn numbers up, fellas.
I look forward to listening to them. Did you ever hear back from the weed guy?
No, he ghosted. Like, I don't know. He had too much bandwidth. He was just like too cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the hipster.
Yeah,
so
with all of his fucking CBD companies.
Yeah, just go chug some CBD, bro. So whatever. Maybe we'll get him on, but we'll see.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm. What's been new with you guys?
Nothing really. It's golf season for me.
Yeah, it's golf season. Kicked off. I golfed on Friday and this morning.
Are you guys good at golf?
He is. I'm not.
When you say you're not, Jared, like you can keep up with the fellas though. Like, when you this is how bad I am at golf. Like, what is it? The driver, right? Like, can you nail one and have it go like?
Occasionally, yeah.
But I mean, do you have those ones that go to the right or?
Yeah. Oh yeah, way right.
You lose them, like, or maybe you just don't hit them at all. Like, does that happen?
Not so much anymore. I don't whiff too much anymore. But I am not immune to a shank.
Okay, because my father-in-law is a very big golfer, and I'm the spoiled son-in-law. Like, we golf on the vineyard, we do all of these things, and I literally count down minute by minute when we're done. I'm like, it's just like, oh, so grueling, right? And so we do 18 holes, of course, and I am just a burden to play with because it gets to the point where he's like, you just want to play your ball where I land? Because like if we play with a couple people, I literally will ruin everything. He's like, just play it where I land, right? So I just like, I'll chop them or I lose them, and then I'll just get up and get a new ball and put it right where his is, like a little baby, right? And then, but I don't realize like I'm horrible, but I'm playing where he lands, so I start getting cocky. So like whoever we're playing with, if they suck, I'm like, look at this idiot, like hitting in the sand again and stuff. But I've gotten invited golfing, but I refuse to go because I'm like, I'll ruin it. Like when I say I'm bad, I'm actually bad.
Do you own a set of clubs?
Yes, but I traded a set of dumbbells for a set of clubs or something. No, yeah, I gave a dude some dumbbells for free, and he just gave me some golf clubs. So I have some.
So at least you own some. Because it's just like if you have to rent them every time you go, then it's like, all right, that's not ideal.
Yeah. But I want to go. It's just like that with snowboarding too. I want to do these things. I think they're cool, but I'll ruin it for whoever I go with. So I'm just like, nah, I won't go.
I mean, the way to fix that is just do it more.
But what if you don't like it? But I want to go with you guys. Like,
would you like it if you were better?
Yeah, of course.
So then you have to just get through the suck. Like, I'm still not good. Like, this is my 5th year, I think. It's either my 4th or my 5th year playing.
Bob, is he good?
See, now good's a subjective term because I don't want to talk shit here. But
I mean, I'll say like I'm not good.
So I'm going to describe his game for you.
Okay.
The ball gets in the air.
Go ahead.
He keeps it moving. And he can literally play the game of golf. Now, I know exactly what you were describing, where you can't get off the tee. And then someone's like, oh, okay, hey, man, you got to like come up here or like whatever. Because like when he was first getting back into it, might have played a few times when he was a kid. There'd be times he'd hit in the bunker and I'd be like, okay, well, I'll just drag that ball out of that bunker. You're not hitting a bunker shot right now. But now it's like, I don't do that shit anymore. So he keeps it going, keeps it playing. But like, I think the average handicap of a golfer is somewhere like 15 to 18. And what does your app say you are, Mel? Like a 20?
22.
Okay. So, I mean, that's what we're looking at. That's kind of what we're looking at. But like, I even say that I'm not good because some of the people I play with are very good, but I'm a 3. And
that's good, right?
That's pretty, I mean, yeah. I mean, again, if we're talking 15 to 18's average and I'm a 3, you know, I'm 12 to 15 strokes better than these people.
Right.
But I have a tournament tomorrow. I might go and I might lose by 12. Like,
damn.
So
you know, we're at that age where it's not awful playing with older people and stuff like that, right? But is it weird seeing a grown man that like is acting like he's good, has all the gear, like has all the shit, and you know he's just awful? Like, does that exist?
Oh yeah.
There's plenty. Yeah. Well,
I mean, like with you, like you ever have to play with these dudes?
I play with all types of random people because I go by myself a lot. Now I do play by myself at my club, like I'm a member at a course.
Oh,
so
yeah, deal.
So I'll play with random people and they might be high numbers and it is what it is, but that's like, I don't try to determine if people are good, bad, whatever. I just try to determine if people speak appropriately. So if someone's going to tell me, oh, I'm good, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. Well, you better turn around and put up some good fucking numbers. But if you don't tell me like, oh, wow, I was really hammering it today at the simulator, I'm like, then if you were really hammering it today, when we go play, you better really fucking hammer it or else don't fucking talk to me about this shit. But otherwise, it's people like, oh, yeah, you know, I play a few times. I'm like, okay, cool. They're like, yeah, you know, pain in the ass. It's like, okay, yep, yeah, you're right, it is. And then it's
so
like,
your expectations are matching what they're saying anyway.
Basically,
right?
like the only thing that really pisses me off is when people talk so much and like they either talk too much about how they are and they don't meet that level, or they have such unrealistic expectations for themselves that it's insufferable to be around. It's like, oh, I never hit it this bad.
Oh,
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I kind of have a feeling you do.
Yeah, definitely. So like, it's just like at the shooting range too, where I used to go fairly often. Like I'm like, okay, but there's like beginner, intermediate, and expert or whatever. Yeah. I would still always say beginner because I'm not even comfortable saying intermediate. Yeah. But because I would ask the guys, you know, what should I write? They always say beginner. But there's people that come in and they say expert. And then these guys get all pissed off. They're like, so you're an expert? Expert in our world is like special ops kind of shit. Yeah. Like, can you hit the, and they're like, oh, yeah. And then they're just a mess in the range, you know, like, and they rent like the craziest shit and they're just awful. So I get it. I guess that's kind of in every world, right?
Yeah. And then it's like, cause it's like, we're looking at this. So there's obviously the guys on TV. They are all extremely fucking good. But even within that, there's guys on TV that are not as good as the other guys on TV. And then, you know, you back that up and it's like, all right, so at my course, I am top in terms of just handicap. I'm probably top 7, top 5, but I haven't won the club championship in either of the 2 times I've tried. Like, so it's like there are guys out there. It's all just weird, and it's like the only thing that gets annoying in golf is when people just don't know where they stand and like they don't know where they are. And it's like when we play. So we went down the Cape with last year. It was me, and then it was Mello. It was one of our buddies who probably plays. What does Vinny play? 10 times a year, 8 times a year?
Yeah, probably between 10 to 15,
something like that a year. Then one of our other buddies that's only played like probably 8 times in his life. So I just put them on a team and made them play a scramble against me. So it was like they all tee off, go to the best. They all hit the next shot, go to the best. Everyone putts, go to the best. Like, and then that way we just keep it moving, we keep it going. That way, not one person's bogged down with, you know, it's like, oh, I'm kind of struggling off the tee today. It's like, all right, man, then just we're up there now. And then that way it's like, they're a team, they're playing against me. They drive the first fucking green, bury the first putt. Fucking assholes, eagle the first hole on my ass. But then I like when I play public golf, like randomly, like these guys be like, oh yeah, just not, I never hit it this bad. Like, God, dude, I'm watching your swing, and I think you do.
So when you show up by yourself, so you're that guy, because
I play by myself all the time.
I went with my father-in-law.
I do too.
My two brothers-in-laws.
I have a course like practically in my backyard. It's 5 minutes away from me.
But you guys have no problem just like coming into somebody's group?
No, it's
not awkward.
Fine. Not at all. Golf is weird, right? Because at its core, it's a very pretentious sport. Like it's an old white man's game. And depending on the course, every course is different too. Like with the area you're at, and like I said, the courses have different feels. So like sometimes you might go somewhere and you can tell like it's a very pretentious thing. Like people are going to be douchebags, but like on the individual level, people are super nice. Like if I get paired, like if I show up as a single, like I book a tee time and go and play as a single, and I get paired with a group of people, they're like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, how's it going? Or like on the course, like if I'm playing as a single and there's a group of like 2 or 3 ahead of me, sometimes they're like, hey, man, do you want to play through or do you want to join up? And it's like at the individual level, people are more often than not nice. Now you're going to get on the individual level, the cocksuckers, because there's cocksuckers everywhere. Mm-hmm. But like still like at its core, golf is a pretentious sport. You know what I mean? Like if you're sucking, it's what I usually say. It's what I try and keep in mind. And what I tell like other people, like our buddy Vinny or Dickie or whoever we play with, like if you're going to suck fast.
Yeah. Just play fast.
Right. Like that's how I look at it. Like when I played on Friday, it was effectively the first time I played all year. I played once in like the second week of March. So I didn't play for an entire month. So when I got out on Friday, it was not good, but I was like, if I hit the ball and it went way into a bad spot, I kicked it back into a better spot and I hit a good shot. Like just move quickly. Like don't take fucking forever. And that's what I like I said, that's how I approach it. Like if I'm going to suck, I'm going to suck quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that like when I play with random people, the way I look at it is if I'm playing with like 3 and they're all friends with each other, have another friend. I don't fucking know what to tell you. Like you left the spot open, I'm gonna take it. Like
right.
This is your problem. You did.
Yeah, that's your problem. If you wanted your 4 buddies, then you should have booked 4. Right. That's how you should have done that. Because most public courses don't nail you if you book a foursome and bring 3. They kind of don't care. But no, what do people do? They book 3. So when I decide I want to go to these places, I see an open spot, I'm fucking taking it. You should have booked 4. That's on you if you didn't want me to play with you. You fucking ran that risk. Never mind, there's a lot worse people that could fucking end up with you. You could end up with someone who's slow, sucks, and won't shut the fuck up. Right. At least like I won't even fucking speak if we're not like doing this, that's fine. I don't need to talk. I'll be as friendly as it dictates, but I'll just sit there and I'll just hit my shots and I kind of lost that one off the tee. Oh, hey man, you're just down the left. Like, I don't give a shit. But
so what about if you walk in and you're in a group and they have a cart and you don't? Is that awkward? Like you got to walk and all that stuff?
Depending on the place, I may just hop in.
You're so awkward. You don't care, huh?
It does happen. I've done that before. Like there's a few courses they don't allow. It's not that they don't allow singles in a golf cart, but they don't allow singles in a golf cart when it's avoidable, right? So like I've done it before where I've showed up and booked as a single and some other person was a single. They wouldn't allow both of us to
take one cart
in 2 carts for each of us. So we had to split one cart. So we both hopped in one. So I've done that before where I've ridden in a cart with a random dude.
Now, do you offer to pay him any money or anything? Like, because you're paying a little bit more. Let's say us 3 go, right? And we get a cart or something, or Jared, you and I go and we get a cart. We're paying for that cart. And then Bob, third wheel Bob comes in because he's looking to play. He needs to hop on the cart. Are you and I sitting there going, well, let's have this guy chipping on this damn cart here? Or
Well,
something?
no, he would pay in the pro shop.
He would have to pay for it.
Golf carts are stupid because say the place is $20 a person for the golf cart. So if I take the cart and I ride alone, it's $20. But if we take a cart and we ride together, the cart is now $40. So the cart doesn't have a cost. There's a per person cost.
Oh, so even if you show up, you're paying.
Yeah. So if I didn't pay for a cart, what I would say is like if they were like, oh, like hop in if you want, like, hey man, I didn't pay for a cart. I'll walk for a little bit. Like, okay, cool. Like if you change your mind, let me know. And then like if I'm like if it's like slow, like if these guys are moving along, I'll just be like, hey man, I'm gonna hop in with you. And then that's a pro shop problem, not a individual golfer problem.
Interesting. Golf's an interesting thing. I just can't get into it. I'm really trying though. I'm gonna try. All right. Then us fellas will go golfing. Well, that's what I heard. It's a very expensive hobby too. It doesn't sound like it is cheap. So, but you're a member. You're a member at a place, huh?
Yep. So
what's that cost you for a year?
So I pay 20 because I'm under 35. I pay 2,600, and I think I get $200 worth of carts and $400 worth of food. Both of those are prepaid. So
that's cool.
So I get 10 free carts and $400 worth of food, and I just go in and tick it off like that.
So effectively, it's
$2,000 for the golf,
and $600 for the amenities,
the other stuff.
Yeah, the carts and the food, which isn't bad when you factor out like, especially for how much you play.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. They make out on me for the food, and I make out on them for the golf because I usually don't end up using it all.
Yeah.
Well, while you guys are wasting your money on golfing, I'm going to 2 amazing concerts this year. Or excuse me, Reality Tonic is going to 2 amazing concerts this year. Number 1 is Limp Bizkit at the Sarcasm Arena in Lowell. And number 2 is Slipknot. And that is going to be at Southern New Hampshire Arena in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Nice. Now, you're going for Reality Tonic. So are you interviewing someone at these concerts?
Well, I think the idea, what I'm going to do, this is how I got away with it with my wife, is, probably just going to get a table and stuff while we're tailgating in the parking lot, and kind of party with everybody and have, let it be known that Reality Tonic is here. And then I think what we're going to do, I got to convince Rob of this, is get like a little spinny wheel, right? Like those carnival ones, like, this you spin it and then you got to do whatever's on there. And I think it'll just be like a pretty, like a funny question or something that, spin the wheel, whatever question it lands on, you have to answer, right? And if you do, here's your free t-shirt, which by the way, they're very expensive. I don't want to give these out for free, but they're expensive.
Yeah,
and
apparel is expensive as
it's
fuck.
Insane. And we'll talk about that in a second, I'm sure. But yeah, the whole idea is you come up, I'm assuming you're just going to be like a really hot girl at the Limp Bizkit concert, probably in your early 50s. Just come on up, give you your shirt.
Missing a couple teeth.
Exactly, baby. And then you spin that wheel and then you answer the question on the thing. We'll probably get a little video content and that'll be cute. Followed by an interview with Fred Durst himself. That is the plan. So we'll see. Just kind of getting video of. Aren't you interested as a 30-something-year-old male and wondering who is going to a Limp Bizkit concert, and better yet, who's tailgating at these things?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah,
and I can tell you by the venue what type of person is going to show up to the Songus Arena.
Oh yeah,
and then the Snoo Arena for Slipknot. Like that's. They're not going to Mansfield.
That's right.
They're not going to the Comcast Center. It's not the TD Garden.
Yeah.
It's not Foxborough. It's not Gillette. It's
partying, baby.
Don't give Mansfield. Don't let Mansfield off too easy. Yeah. It's right next to Norton, and like Norton is a great city for a Limp Bizkit concert. Like who would attend a Limp Bizkit concert? A 40-something-year-old male on average, plus or minus, that lives in Norton. I would say, that's the type of person
with a backwards flat brimmed hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I I went to Songus one time for Avenged Sevenfold, and
Love them.
Stone Sour was before them. And I didn't know Stone Sour at all, really. I just knew that one song, Through the Glass. So I'm like, oh, Stone Sour, this should be great.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of came out a little hot, and I'm like,
they're good, dude.
I go, what is this? And then I realized, I'm like, or someone said it, or I realized that there are a bunch of overlap in members between Slipknot and Stone Sour, and it's not just Through the Glass. And I'm like, oh, because that was like, it was fucking crazier for Stone Sour than it was for Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too. You're looking at you through the, you're like, all right, this song's corny, whatever. But like I think somebody burned me their CD or something, like when Stone Sour was like doing their thing, and it was sick. They had some bangers for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's like an amazing concert. Avenged Sevenfold and Stone Sour. Yeah, I mean, Limp Bizkit's gonna be playing with Snot. I don't know if you've heard of them, but
no,
never heard of Snot.
They'll be opening up. Snot will be opening up. So,
have you guys heard of Guar?
Yeah, the band.
Are you serious right now, dude? Are you serious right now?
Because I had not.
You're not joking with me right now, right?
You didn't
see the videos of me at that concert like 2 years ago at the Palladium?
No.
Oh, I'll send them to you. Yeah, I went. I tore that shit up. Pardon my French. When I went to the Palladium, I mean, you can only imagine what's at a Guar concert, right? So me and my friend Andy go.
Yeah.
And we
that also, hey, again, check out the venue, the Worcester Palladium.
Yeah, which is sick. Which is sick. That smell, just
not
whatever.
The DCU Center, again.
No, exactly.
It's the Palladium.
Across the street. Yeah. So over there, it's a weird crowd. It's like the kids who refuse to change for gym class and would like smoke cigarettes and stuff like that crew, right? And then there's me.
No, it smells like wet dog and smoke. Every concert I've ever been to smells like wet dog and smoke.
What did I do? I went to a Bowling for Soup concert at the Worcester Palladium.
Yes, I saw Guar for the first time, and they squirt a bunch of stuff at you. It's disgusting. But I was destroying people, like kids I was like twice their size, and just launching them. Like you're like, hey, that guy's an asshole, right? Like it's me, wearing my tight Under Armour shirt, my skinny jeans, just like tearing it up. But yes, they are phenomenal, and I highly recommend going to see them, especially at the Palladium. Tickets are like $35.
Well, yeah. So Amy has a friend that apparently is like super into metal and was in a metal band when she was in high school. And she was telling me today, she was texting her. This was on the car ride up to my mom's today. And she was like, hey, like this girl wants me to go to like a Guar concert. And I was like, what the fuck is Guar?
Yeah.
And then she like started to explain it to me. And I was like, why in the fuck would anyone go to that concert?
Oh, it's sick, dude. You'd have so much fun.
So apparently I'm the only asshole that didn't know what Guar was.
Oh, so yeah.
If anyone out there doesn't actually know what Guar is, so I went to the Wikipedia page, because I know I'm trying to find the correct words for how to describe this. And the Wikipedia describes them: barbaric interplanetary warriors, a narrative which serves as the basis for all the band's albums, whatever, rife with over-the-top violent, sexual, and scatological humor. That's poop. Typically incorporating social and political satire.
Yeah, these guys.
And they've attracted both acclaim and controversy for the use of graphic violence that result in the audience being sprayed with copious amounts of fake blood, urine, semen.
Yeah.
And yeah, some people call them a shock rock band, if you will.
So yeah, out of nowhere, they had like a huge Donald Trump guy and then a huge Hillary Clinton one. And then like, I think Trump ripped off her face or something. And then she ripped his chest open. And then all the blood just started squirting out at everybody. And then like some like man baby comes out in a diaper. It was crazy. It was the best experience of my entire life. And I was going to say something, but it was just sick. Oh yeah. No, the original lead singer died because they've been around forever. The original lead singer died, and they had
I'm gonna read this.
Check
because
this out, Jared.
down the line there's Guarbecue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
What
Every
the
year.
fuck?
So in Richmond, Virginia, annually they have Guarbecue. It's the barbecue vendors, haunted house of sorts, whatever. I don't know what a bohab is, but maybe that's fans of Guar. I don't know. They can visit and be spewed and bled upon. Anyway, so in 2014, the original lead singer died.
Let's say what his name is.
Odorous Urungus. They gave him a Viking funeral with his stage costume burned on a funeral pyre on the lake.
Yeah, and it was.
Jesus.
I watched it. It was sick.
Oh, so you're big into this Guar thing, huh?
Yeah, it's more of a lifestyle than anything else, Jared. You know?
Now, where do they fall on the spectrum of like, what's his face? Bobby Dahmer. What the fuck is his name?
Daniel Dahmer.
Daniel Dahmer.
So they probably
and
they
Guar.
probably wouldn't, they wouldn't like Daniel Dahmer. They're good musicians. Their music is not like you. If I just randomly played, you wouldn't be like, oh man, this stuff is sick. You know what I mean? You'd just be like, oh, there's some noise here, or this is okay. But when you look at the whole thing, I mean, they have to be doing okay. I wouldn't call them. I think they're worth a couple $1 million by now. Like they were on MTV
they've
a lot.
been going since 1984. Like,
yeah,
it's a long time.
They were in the wrestling thing, like, and all that. But Daniel Dahmer's in that umbrella. You know what I mean? Can we talk about Daniel Dahmer for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
You saw what I sent you, right? He shaved his whole head.
He shaved his head, except for like the fucking like sides.
Yes.
Or whatever it was.
He said, so I think he's losing his mind because he said he was having like a Britney Spears moment where he just like shaved his whole head and stuff. But it sounds like he's getting back on the road. But he has a picture of him with like his hand shaped like a gun to his head. And it said, "This the last face she see before she realized $100 and her debit card is missing from her purse." Right? So he's like this mean mugging the thing or whatever. And he is he's back in the game, guys. He's back on the road for sure. So that's where Reality Tonic will be heading to next. Detroit.
Yeah.
Sarcasm Speaks would be interested in going. We can certainly make something out of it.
Do you guys have an LLC?
We're going to. We're going to have an LLC.
You can write all this shit off as tax write-ups.
And
like
so
if you go and promote Reality Tonic, you can like write. Not that I would expect Slipknot tickets at the SNU Arena to be cost prohibitive, but you could write off the $27.99 per ticket.
Okay, I think that's a great idea. Yes. Also looking into trademarking our name. However, I've looked into this, and you really don't have to. You really don't. I know.
You're talking like
years down the line, right?
Over $1,000.
Well, so I looked. So obviously, these companies, they reach out and whatever, right? So doing my own research, you don't need to actually trademark a podcast name. So, for example, Sarcasm Speaks. You guys have a website. You've been around for a little bit. I forget what it's called. Maybe it's like an intellectual property. It's just basically like you've been using this whole time. Everybody links Jared and Bob to Sarcasm Speaks. We know that that's your thing, right? So if I came in and I just decided to take Sarcasm Speaks, I necessarily can't. It's rightfully yours. You don't need to trademark it, right? But you can right now write Sarcasm Speaks and then have the little TM thing. But did you know that means absolutely nothing? So the TM, anybody can trademark. Like we can trademark right now. I could be like, oh, my name is Spencer and I'm trademarking that name. It means nothing until you actually trademark it. And then you see the little R, that means registered trademark.
Registered, yeah.
That's some money and that is some time too. Like even if you're good to go, it's all set, nobody else has the name, still got to file some stuff, needs to go through approval and all that. So it is kind of just like. And
it takes months. We tried to do it with Iron Prescription. And we ran into a whole mess of issues because the company was Iron Prescription, but our brand was Iron RX, and our LLC was Iron RX LLC, but it was ironprescription.com. And it was an absolute fucking mess. We met with a lawyer for like 45 minutes and it cost us like $400.
Yep. Probably I would say about $600 an hour.
Yeah. And,
crazy.
We were like, this is not worth it.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. Wow. So you actually pay for the lawyer and everything, huh?
Well, we were gonna go through and trademark it.
Can you imagine, just because of the knowledge that you have, you can be like, yeah, $600 an hour. You know what I mean? For stuff that us three could probably figure out if we wanted to waste the time and really look into it. But man, these guys just get paid just for a piece of paper that they just have access to when they print it out. And they're like, yeah, sign your name on 3 spots here. That'll be $15,000 because I did that for you.
Well, the worst part with lawyers is you'll talk to them, like maybe you sit down with them, whatever. They'll send you a bill, like whether you knew it or not. Like, I mean, obviously, if you're going to speak to a lawyer, you should expect to get a bill.
Yeah.
Then the bill comes and it's like, fuck me, it's from a lawyer. Like, what am I going to do? Not pay this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like if there's a lot of people out there that you could probably skimp on. A lawyer is the last person you can skimp on. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. You're $1,000 an hour and you didn't tell me that. Like when we were on the phone, like that counted. It's like, oh, sick.
So speaking of lawyers, I got a chance to basically interview one at my brother-in-law's wedding recently, because he's friends with a lot of smart people and stuff. And this guy, he's pretty dorky, but we were talking, and he's a lawyer. He's a patent attorney, right? So whatever. I mean, he's an attorney, and I always think, okay, attorney, rich. No matter what, you must be making a shit ton of money, whatever. But he told me, like, I think it's anywhere between like 40,000 to like 200,000, that kind of range. You know what I mean? But like that big money that you're making, that's years down the road. That might even be if you have your own practice or not. Right. And also depending on what you specialize in. Like he was honest with me, he makes 150 a year, which I think is pretty darn good for, you know, he works for an agency and he has some pretty high profile things. But besides the fact of the enormous student loan debt they're probably in, like they're not making as much as you would really think they were. So I found that very interesting.
Well, we got a lawyer that listens to the show and has been on the show. Shout out to Mike.
Mikey.
We could probably get him back on and ask him more questions about it. But it all depends on like what you're doing, right? So if you are a public defender, any one of us 3 dickheads that could get arrested and then just use a public defender, which is free for us. So the public defender they're not making $200,000 a year as a lawyer. They're the ones making the 40, 50 grand a year.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I also know a real estate lawyer who has his own practice. It's not the guy we use for the house. He has his own practice, and real estate lawyering is usually a lot of contracts and like closing, like whatever. So it's like, it's pretty straightforward, and it's pretty like, oh, a real estate contract is $3,000. So it's like, all right, well, how many real estate contracts am I going to do this year? 100 at $3,000, 300,000, but you need to get 100 sales, whatever. So what he actually kind of pivoted to doing was he has, and again, his own practice, small office, whatever. I think it's his own practice. And I mean, no one else even working with him. So what he ended up doing was he still does the contracts because that keeps him in the network, whatever. But he started doing like some short-term loan sharking for developers. So he'll still do the paperwork, whatever. But once he amassed a certain amount of capital, now he loans it out and it all comes back in like 3 months or so. So whatever small percent he gets, but, send it out, get it back, send it out, get it back. And he goes, honestly, if the contracts weren't my way of getting clients for the development, he goes, I wouldn't do it anymore.
Wow. So I guess my thing is, when I look at, so for example, Bridgewater State, Jared, you can go and get your MSW along with a JD, like jurist, whatever the hell it is, whatever, for lawyer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that. All right, that's cool. Wait, so I can friggin' be a lawyer if I really wanted to do extra.
That's also got to be a new program because Bridgewater didn't offer JDs when we were there.
Yeah, they have that now for sure. So I guess,
well, it's a university. Remember that?
Yeah.
So it was only a college when we started.
Oh yeah. Everybody has, so basically, once you graduate law school is the same for everybody. And then you can just decide which specialty you want to go into. So like the guy that does the patent attorney stuff, technically tomorrow he could say, I want to be a criminal defense attorney, right? with the same education and stuff, but he just has to obviously know the lingo and all of those things to be able to specialize in that?
I don't know if attorneys in law school have like concentrations, whereas like, so we were in the physical education department, but we did exercise science. You could be in Suffolk law and it's still like the law department, but your focus is criminal or your focus is real estate. And if it's not, and if it's like, say it's like very, very generic, then where you do your internships, I don't know what I don't know what they're called.
Like a field placement or something.
Yeah, whatever their
whatever like, their version of internship.
Yeah, their version of an internship, whatever lawyer's version of an internship is, that would be kind of where it brings you.
Yeah.
Like, so if you go and you work with a real estate company, then you're probably going to do real estate law. But if you work on someone who tries murderers, then you're probably going to get into criminal law and trial law.
I'd like to have your lawyer friend on the show. Book it.
Yeah, I mean, he's still. I think he's taking the bar sometime this year, maybe.
Oh, so he's fresh.
He's fresh, yeah.
Wow.
He's like a year or two. I think he's 2 years younger than me. Maybe three, definitely not more than 3. But I think he's only 2 years younger than me. So I know him from Milton Academy back in the day when I used to work there.
Oh, hey, the boat cruise is happening this year, Jared.
Oh, really? It's such a shame. Actually,
you should come as a guest.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you want to take me?
I would have, but this is the 1 year my wife is actually gonna go as my guest. The last time she didn't go.
I should talk Amanda into taking me.
You should. I wonder what would happen. I mean,
nothing.
Yeah, you just left.
What the fuck would happen? I don't work
there.
Hey,
get out of here! What are they gonna do? Just throw you off the boat?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like,
Spencer, grab his legs. This guy's going overboard.
They're gonna go, Spencer, can you just, dude, I'm so sorry. You can't be here anymore.
Yeah, and it's the weirdest thing. They said I have to throw you overboard.
Yeah,
like I can't even escort you off. So like I'm just gonna grab you by the pants and the arm and heave ho.
Yep, sad.
Yeah,
sad.
I'll hold on to your phone. That seems expensive.
Yeah.
No, I hung out with Jared a lot at the boat cruise. It was fun.
Yeah, or have Jean. Would Jean's wife go?
I don't know.
I feel like she wouldn't go.
There's too much drinking. Did I tell you I called Jean an angel and he got offended?
Spencer.
Yeah,
Spencer. Come on, man. You can't call me that.
He calls. I go, "What's up, angel?" Like that. And he goes, "What? You're crazy, Spencer. Don't ever say that to me again." Like just like that. And I go, "What? Is that offensive?" He goes, "Yes, I'm not an angel. I'm a human being. I'm a person." And I go, "I know, but you're my sweet angel." And he's like, "Come on, man, you're being ridiculous." So again, and I'm not sure if it's because I'm being like sexy with him or if it's because it's the whole angel thing. Yeah. But I mean, obviously,
probably a little bit of both.
But it is the Asian thing. It's like that's under that blasphemy thing. So like, I'll tell Gene all the time, be like, "I'm Jesus" or whatever. Get him all riled up, and he's just telling me how I'm sinning left and right. But yes, do not call him a sweet angel. As a matter of fact, don't call any grown man sweet angel.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
People getting offended left and right.
Religious or not, he might get your ass kicked.
Yeah, this country's gone soft. I'm getting this shit kicked out of me all the time for calling grown men sweet angels. But yes, he did not like that. I did get Gene, so it was his birthday. We had a team meeting at work, and I got Gene a cake, like a big ass one. And of course, Gene's vegan, so he doesn't eat that cake, right? But I didn't care because I got a cake that serves like 40 or 50 people with his picture on it, and it was like a sexy picture. But it was such a big cake and so awkward, where it kind of looked like a funeral cake. You know what I mean? Like you could have easily wrote R.I.P. Gene, because like it was like a baby blue and white, and his picture was just like so handsome. But you literally could have. Everybody's just staring at it like, "Oh, that's so nice." I'm like, "It looks like a funeral cake, doesn't it?" They're like, "Yeah, it does." And Gene's like, so Gene It was an ugly cake. I'm sorry. It was like a beautiful picture, but an ugly cake. And Gene's like, my family thought that was a really nice thing you did for me, right? And he goes, but I know you were just trolling me. I just want you to know that. He goes, I know what that cake is. Like, right? And he goes, but my mother-in-law were like, Gene, your boss is so nice. That's like, they thought it was a gorgeous cake. They gave us the $50 for $100 to budget that party, and I paid like $55 for that cake. I'll send you pictures. It was a beautiful cake. I mean,
we're doing budgets for parties now. That's cool.
Yeah,
We've come a long way.
Threw a little money our way, baby.
Yeah,
well, they're not paying you anymore. So.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
they're
like,
have to pay my salary, my bloated fucking salary.
We get some change here.
I was making fucking dog shit.
No, you weren't. You were in charge of a program.
Yeah, that didn't matter.
How much were you making? Tell me right now.
Not a lot.
Over 55 or under 55? Neither.
I guess neither.
Over 55 or under 50. So 55.
Ding ding ding.
Did you see? Did you watch how it all was going? My eyes almost aligned together. Like, they're straightening out. They're straightening.
Like, wait, what? How could it not be over or under? What do you mean?
Yeah, just an explosion.
Was it over 45 or under 62?
Yeah. Exactly.
Neither.
55. They screwed you, bro.
Yeah, they did.
And then it was, we'll see how it goes, and we'll kick a little up your way if the program's successful, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is after the fact, I talked to Amanda because she obviously runs her program too, and they gave her the same spiel. So it was about remember when we got the raises and like all of the people on the road got a $5,000 raise.
Yes.
And then the way it was pitched to me, right? So that was included to me. Okay. But the way it was pitched to me was I didn't get that raise because the company got the raise. I got the raise based off of merit and what I'd done and all this shit, whatever. And then come to find out, they literally said the same exact thing to Amanda. And then did the supervisors get the same thing too, or no?
That bump?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So it was like they just spun shit and like made people feel like they were more special than they actually were.
Your money was different though.
Yeah. They were like, well, this isn't like normally like we shouldn't give it to you, but we are. And then like I said, me and Amanda talked about it, and she was like, they said that. Wait. She goes, wait. They said what? She was like, they said the same exact thing to me. Yeah, and I was like, they just fucking trying to make us feel better. They just gave everyone the bump across the board, and they're telling people that they didn't, and they're just making people feel good.
Jeez. Do you like your new job?
Oh, I love it.
You're not like, what am I doing right now? Like, you feel good about it?
Yeah. I mean, I still like, I don't know, like, I'm not an expert in it by any means.
Any tough guys at work? You beefing with anybody yet?
No, everyone's awesome. Actually,
you haven't had to flex at all.
No, the whole New England team is 7 or 8 people.
Wow.
And we handle kind of the East Coast too, because one of our clients has locations all along the East Coast. So I'll be traveling to, I got to go to White Plains, New York, and Albany. I got to end up going to Charlotte, North Carolina in a few weeks. Not this year, but next year I'm going to have to go to Pittsburgh for a move. So
I'll give you Pittsburgh. Yeah. I'm going to give you a bunch of Reality Tonic stickers, and you got to post them when you go on your tour.
Yeah, I'll do that. You got to get them to me though.
Yeah, I got to actually get them. I get the guy literally like, hey man, you want another order? Or because I put all mine up at like Subways and Starbucks and just wherever I frequent. I don't even know why I did that, because it just gonna be like, dude, you gotta stop posting those fucking stickers. I know it's you. We checked it out. Like, I go into Starbucks enough where they're gonna be like, yeah, stop posting your stickers in random spots, dude. We know it's you. It's all about promotion, fellas.
That's it. I like the sweatshirt, by the way.
Thank you. So about these, I got this at the mall. Okay, so they're destroying me there. Like, guess how much this cost?
At the mall.
Yeah.
Is it a branded sweatshirt or is it generic?
It's just like a regular sweatshirt that they.
But it's not like Nike or.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
$52.
Bob.
At the mall, custom.
One shirt.
Ugh, one off.
But it is a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's-
50 flat.
60.
Gross.
For a t-shirt, 30. Right?
Yeah.
So everybody's
Gross.
like, give me a free shirt. And Jared, I did that to you. I was like, dude, give me one of those iron. You're like, number one, company doesn't exist anymore. And number two, I don't think I have any. But like, I didn't realize, like, I was like, oh yeah, I'll order like, 200 or 300 shirts.
Yeah.
Thinking it wasn't
Yeah.
gonna, thinking
Good
maybe it was
luck.
gonna be like $100 or something. Like for 20, it was
Yeah.
230 for like the most basic.
People don't realize and this is what we found out very quickly with Iron RX, and obviously Bob knows this, right? Running business forever, but there is no money to be made in apparel. So like everyone out there that's like, oh, I'm going to start a t-shirt company and I'm going to make it. And it's like, no, you're
No,
not.
you're not.
Like, unless you're printing at scale, but when I say scale, I don't mean like hundreds of shirts. I mean thousands, if
Thousands.
not tens of thousands. Like, you have to be in the minimum of 4 digits of the amount of shirts and things that you're selling in order to make actual money. So like,
Yeah, you need
No,
to get
the-
the shirts you need to get them really cheap.
right.
And the only way to get them cheap is to buy a fucking outrageous fucking quantity.
Right.
And then you got to fucking manage to unload them all. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I
Then you're sitting on 5,000 t-shirts that you now need to offload.
Mhm.
So cool. You bought 5,000 t-shirts and they only charged you $7.50 a shirt. So
Yeah.
cool. If you sell a shirt for $25, you're going to make a really good margin off of that.
Right.
But you now have to sell 5,000 t-shirts. So good luck.
And who's banging on the door for a podcast t-shirt?
Yeah.
With 10 episodes. That's
Yeah.
kind of the situation I'm in right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So everybody just wants them, but for free, and it's
Yeah.
like, dude.
People want free shit. And it's like,
including myself.
yeah.
well, dude, it's even hard. It's even hard for me to sell them at the gym. And I have, 100 whatever clients at a time. And it's like, there are some people that have not bought a shirt from us in 7 years. And I just don't think they're going to either. So it's like, so not only have I bought so the last order I did 3 different purchases. I bought 75 sweatshirts and t-shirts. I probably actually unloaded 65, if not more of them. And the other ones I'm still sitting on. I think I made $5 per shirt. So when you make $5 per shirt on 65, but 10 of them aren't sold, you've made
lose
no
some
money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your website for your apparel, those shirts are reasonably priced for somebody like me that wants to buy one. So I'm like, oh, cool. I'll start up a thing on that way. I don't have a bunch of.
It's drop shipping. So like our website, we run it through this company called Redbubble.
Yeah.
So it's essentially all the stuff on there is made to order.
Yeah.
So there is no inventory, right? It doesn't exist. Like, we don't have like 5,000 coasters and like 2,500 t-shirts and like 3,000 sweatshirts. They just, when someone orders them from our website, they like pull the fucking shirt or sweatshirt off of like their inventory rack.
Yeah.
They print it with our logo and then they ship it to whoever bought it.
But they're
So-
reasonably priced though, too.
They are. The downside of that is the turnaround time is, in an Amazon world, annoying because it takes 2 weeks to get whatever you order. And like I said, it doesn't bother me, and like it shouldn't be an issue, but in an Amazon world where you can get things delivered to you in 48 hours or less, people don't like that it takes 2 weeks. But
now, who determines that price?
we do.
You do.
Yeah.
Well, they have a base, right?
So you can set the margin. I think we set it to 5% margin on all items. So whatever it costs to make,
you want to get 5%
it gets marked up 5%, and that's what we get. Which is why everything is reasonably priced, right? Like, when you go and buy like a branded t-shirt nowadays, you're going to pay anywhere between 30 and 40 bucks, depending on who it is and what it is. I think our t-shirts are 26 bucks.
I think they're even cheaper, dude.
Because we only have it to be a 5% profit margin. So like the people that sell it for like $37, like if you go like the Drinking Bros podcast, right? Like they might sell a t-shirt for $37.99, but our shirts are, but their margin might be like 15 to 20%, while our margin is only 5% because we're not like, one, we don't sell apparel that like almost ever. And two, like we know that like you're not going to make money off of apparel anyway. So like why bother? Like, you know what I mean? Like if we don't sell t-shirts at $25 a t-shirt, we're sure as fuck not going to sell t-shirts at $40 a t-shirt.
Right.
So make them reasonably priced. Yeah. And if you want to use them as rags to wash your car, I don't care. I'll take my fucking 5% margin.
Laughing all the way to the bank, baby.
Wow. Which, by the way, I hear those Sarcasm Speaks podcast t-shirts are great to use as rags to wash your car. So,
it's great material.
You should buy a lot of them.
There's a sports one that I wanted. I remember asking you about it. It was like a sport cut or something. I'm thinking maybe it's like an Under Armour kind of feel or something.
Yeah, it's like a dry fit type of shirt.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
I just can't get around to doing it. Yeah. I want to support local business. I really do, but
I'm a big local business guy.
Mm-hmm.
I am, like, legit. I try.
Yeah, it's so expensive. Local. I try to too, and then I go, $14 for a fucking sandwich. Get the,
that's because you got to leave Compass.
Yeah.
No. Go to a job where you can make some real money.
Let me tell you something. I have never been happier in my profession. I love it.
That's bullshit, but okay.
My wife just got promoted, so I'm very, very, very happy.
Exactly.
Daddy's sitting pretty. My money goes to groceries. Everybody knows it, and
your money is the play money.
So it is. And then I take out cash too to feel like a stud. So my wife, who doesn't carry cash, will ask me for money. And I'm like, how much do you need? Like, I'm a big baller, right? Like, so, and she thinks I'm making like about $1,000 a month doing this podcast thing too. So. So yeah, this was just like a little investment opportunity. That's how I get away with doing this podcast. So. Gotta promote.
Yeah. What would you do? Like, so how many like downloads do you get like per episode? Roughly.
So
just
I'm trying to. I just started looking at those things. So downloads per episode. It's so different. Like Gene's was a killer. Gene was like Gene made like it was a few hundred or whatever. Like I think it was like 400 or something like that. I'm usually about 100 something, like nothing too crazy, and depends on YouTube too. Like I'm still trying to figure out the whole analytics thing because I switched over to Anchor FM,
which I think I gotta double check and see when our license runs out with Podbean. It might be June.
But hear me out because I got excited.
I might switch over to Anchor in June because I think it does better at promoting the smaller podcasts. Because we have a buddy actually been on the show, Monster Chris, who ran a podcast based pretty much around his gym. He owned a gym in Milford, Massachusetts. I don't know why I said Massachusetts. That's stupid. In Milford.
For our listeners in Russia or wherever.
Exactly. Or our listeners in Iran and Italy and Algeria. We've got a few of those.
Yeah, just so that they're not thinking it's the Milford in Algeria.
Right. Milford, Algeria. Yeah.
So, but it was a very small podcast. And now granted, like it was catered towards his gym members and he has like 100+ gym members. But he was saying like he would get like 100 downloads an episode. Mm-hmm. And us being on Podbean, I think Podbean is better for already established bigger podcasts because we get like 50.
Yeah.
We get like 50, roughly 50. Anyway, depending on the time of year and certain other things.
Yeah.
We get anywhere between 30 and 50 downloads via Podbean.
Yeah.
And then our YouTube has been blowing up. Our YouTube now we get like 30+, anywhere from like 20 to 30+ views on YouTube. I would say in the last month, our YouTube has gotten up. So I guess if you add those together, it could be anywhere from like 40 to 80 download, like people. per episode, but
So
it's just weird that like, because when Monster Chris was running his podcast, it wasn't like we did it. Like it wasn't 2 episodes a week. It was like once a week. They ran seasons. They only did 2 seasons. They got tons of outreach. And now here at you only have 10 episodes and you have over 100 downloads already.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it really makes me want to switch to Anchor.
So the only thing was, so one of the things I was excited about with Anchor was I was thinking like, okay, I can monetize even with 50 listeners, right? Like you just need 50 listeners and then it opens the doors for you to be like, hey, you know what my favorite, like basically what we're doing right now, you know what my favorite part about Anchor FM is, blah, blah, blah. You know, you record a thing. But where they get you, yes, you can make money, but it's for every 1,000 listens on a thing, for every announcement. So for every 1,000 listens on an episode, you get like $20 or $30 or something like that. So I'm still not even able to make it. I just like the opportunity, like at least knowing that I don't have to go and hunt for a sponsor or something. Like there is an opportunity there.
Right.
So we'll see. Yeah, no, it's very user friendly. Like I like the analytics and stuff like that. And
I think I'm sure Eric will be listening to this. But I think when Eric was on the show recently, I want to say when he did his podcast, they also used Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole reason why I didn't go to Anchor from the start was when Monster Chris was running his podcast. At the time, they only allowed 45-minute recording blocks.
Okay.
So like if you were listening to the Barbells, Boot Camps, and Banter podcast, which shout out to that podcast. I don't think it exists anymore, but whatever. They would at the 45-minute mark, there would be like a break, and then they would like come back and do like a little bit more, or their episodes would only be 45 minutes. So
I don't like that restriction.
It sounds like they've changed that since. I mean, it's been what, 3 fucking years that we've been doing this.
Isn't it sick though that we split a license and just to find out like we didn't even really need to, because they were just giving it for free because of COVID? Zoom.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, what can you do?
Bob, do you have any questions for me about anything?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, I think I'm good. Guys, listen to me. Your fan base out there. You gotta support local podcasts. I know Sarcasm Speaks. You know they're bigger now. They're part of a different world now. But don't forget about the little people. So please go to realitytonic.com or check us out on Anchor FM. You can search Reality Tonic Podcast on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on all the stuff. iHeartRadio now, because that just sounds like I'm successful in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
so
you can get us on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's it. And
is that your final thought?
That's my final thought. Yes. So stay tuned for our upcoming episodes. We have Janelle Draper. That's her 10th episode. That's going to be launching very soon. She's a female stand-up comedian. She opened up for Jay Leno. She just opened up for somebody at a sold-out show at the Wilbur Theater. So I mean, and she's my.
Where's she based out of?
Well, she lives in LA now, but she grew up in Chelmsford with me, Massachusetts. She was actually my date for, I want to say the 7th grade version of prom. But yeah, I mean, she's living like the stand-up comedian, like, you know, the hustle and grind, like I got to drive to Ohio tonight, you know, like on a Tuesday night to go play at the Funny Bone or whatever, like one of those things. So she's really making it happen. So
cool.
Stay tuned for that episode. Bob, you look very interested to know about Janelle Draper and her comedic skills, so please check that out. Okay,
I'll have you know I listened to all the episodes.
Oh yeah,
I haven't missed one either.
You haven't?
No.
What is your favorite episode thus far?
Honestly, I liked Joe Sachs Boston. I know it was the most recent one.
Is it because you know him though, or is it because do you remember that guy? Do you remember seeing that guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he's been there for years and years. I'm trying to think. To be honest, the Elvis guy, he was interesting.
Yeah, the idea of it was there, but he just wouldn't
But
shut up.
he talked. It's weird to say this because it's a podcast, but he talked too much, and he talked too much about himself.
I know.
You know, like he was.
It's crazy that in a show where he is being interviewed, he talked about himself too much.
He made it work. He made that happen. Yeah,
braggadocious. You know what I mean? Like he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I have a black belt in jiu-jitsu too."
Yeah,
and it's like, all right, that was like unprompted. You know what I mean?
He's
like
an ordained minister.
Yeah, you didn't like ask him that question. He was like, "Oh yeah, and also by the way, I'm an ordained minister."
Yeah,
and it's like, all right, man. All right.
Yeah, I know. Just tell us how you became an Elvis impersonator. Yeah. So that, like, if I say to you, "Hey, I'm interviewing an Elvis impersonator," you'd be like, "That sounds so interesting." Or even if I said to you, "Dude, he did a firewalk with Tony Robbins, and he did all of these things."
You don't know Tony Robbins.
Yeah. Exactly. He just dragged on too much. Yeah, I like Daniel Dahmer. I'm just fascinated by that guy. I wouldn't even say that's my favorite interview, but I just like him. I like that dude. He's a huge troll. He still ghosted me. I try to message him. He likes my likes, but he won't respond to any emails or anything. I'm really upset.
And then honestly, dude, like I really enjoyed the very first episode, the botched funeral.
You like that?
Like I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that had a lot of hits too. People like that, and I kind of went away from that, like us three guys just shooting the shit, blah. But people like that stuff. I just get nervous because I don't want people to know what I'm really thinking, and I never want to get in trouble. I just want to get Elvis in trouble. You know what I mean? I want to get the female professional wrestler in trouble for what they said. I don't want to get in trouble for anything. You know?
Yeah.
That's how I roll. But
yeah, I've had some good ones.
You like?
There was one.
Christian?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I love Gene.
Bias.
He's my little angel.
My sweet little angel. But, all right, Bob. What's your favorite episode?
I think I like Dan Hank a lot.
Yeah,
he was the one. He was the one that like his life was like a fucking disaster.
Yeah,
like, didn't his wife die in like some
stabbed by a crackhead?
Hey, he got stabbed by a crackhead. His wife died in a hit and run. Oh, and sprinkle a little brain cancer on there too.
Yeah. I liked his. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, he promoted our podcast a lot too, like on all of his major things, which was awesome too.
Yeah.
You know. But, all right, so you guys actually listen. Good for you guys.
Told you I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you.
If I didn't listen, I just wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, man, I love the show. It's great.
Yeah, it's good.
You do a good job. Yeah.
Like
You're really good at
it's like trying to pick your favorite Michael Bolton song. You just can't.
They're all great. But yes, fellas, keep up the great work. I would love to have you guys on for certain people I'm interviewing, so I'm just trying to keep you guys in mind. So yeah, if I interview a golfer or just a badass. Oh wait, listen, the woman who deadlifted 600 pounds. That's impressive for a female, right? Or like 600 or 650.
That's impressive for just about anything.
Yeah, because I don't do that stuff. So she does that. She's like the record holder. She was just on Ellen not too long ago. I'm in talks with her. She might be interested in coming on. But you know those people, they go from like 500 followers to 15,000 followers overnight, and then they don't want to talk to the little people anymore.
Yeah.
So,
well, also be careful with people in the fitness world.
Why?
They tend to have, I know we just talked about Michael O'Connor, but people in the fitness world tend to have a very inflated sense of self.
Yeah, but this guy, Brad Castleberry, is very, very humble. Do you know who that is?
I do.
Real weights. Wait, do you think Brad Castleberry had less fake weights? Were those fake?
Probably. Like I've seen a couple of those videos, but like
he's jacked though.
There's very few people in the fitness world that like I would actually want to interview. And then if I did interview them, I would end up talking to them about like other random shit.
My last random question. Do you like Kenny KO? Do you like what he stands for? Do you like when he calls people out about being natty or not?
I don't know who that is.
So he goes basically like the Brad Castleberries of these, the fake plates, fake weights, fake natties, those guys. He just goes to these fitness expos and just calls them out right to their face. Like to the guys that are yoked the fuck up, that are, he's like, so dude, you're clearly, on steroids. Why would you lie to people? Blah, blah, blah. Or I found this blog or whatever and he just calls them right out. He's like our age and like, he takes steroids. That's why he's just so honest about it. Cause he's like, dude, just tell the truth.
It's like those stupid like juice cleanse commercials or like diet commercials or like the 6-minute abs. It's like, use this machine and you can look like this guy who's shredded. And oh, by the way, he's also on steroids.
Yeah. Man, I want to go to one of those fitness expos. I think those are sick. You guys want to go?
Oh. I don't want to
do
do anything recreationally regarding the fitness industry.
You're so like done with that scene, huh?
I did that for years.
I just do it every day. It's just more, it's more work. And
aren't they fun though? Like if you go to the Arnold or whatever, like not even the competition, the expos.
Zero desire to go to the Arnold or
all
any
that
of those
protein,
things.
all those tables.
Yeah. So like the people that walk around with like they call it the invisible lat syndrome, right?
That's
like,
me.
Dudes walk around. Yeah,
that's me. Yeah.
So like people at these fitness expos have legitimate massive lats, and they exaggerate those.
Wow.
It's like it's a never-ending game. It's like no matter like it's just. People walk around and they suck, really, is what it comes down to.
Dude,
one last thing. Go ahead, Bob.
I would say, so I was at a conference one time and
the one I left.
No, different one. The first talk of the morning of day one, walk in, sit down. Some dude has his shoes off and is stretching in an aisle. Some other dude pulls out like this disgusting ass bottle of like green smoothie, whatever the fuck. And I'm just like looking around and I'm like, you don't have to be that. Like, you don't have to be this way.
Yeah.
And it's like, why the fuck are you stretching in the aisle? Get the fuck up and put your fucking shoes on. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
And so they're elite athletes.
And then like the closest place, so at lunch, like first lunch, the closest place was like a burger bar. And someone's looking at the menu and goes, "Oh, do you have like a hummus plate or anything?" It's like, no, there's no hummus on the menu. This is a fucking burger bar.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you ask? Like, imagine going to a Chipotle and being like, "Oh, wow, what kind of pizza do you guys have?"
Yeah.
Like, we don't have pizza here. This is Chipotle. It's like, "Oh, what do you mean you don't have pizza? I thought you would."
Do you guys think you could hang off of that chin-up bar for a minute straight? Have you seen that thing where you literally just hang like this and you got to be able to do it for 60 seconds? It's either 60 seconds or 100 seconds, and like it's nearly impossible to do. Have you guys seen that challenge?
Oh, if it's nearly impossible, then no, I definitely can't do it.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Anything's possible, okay?
I don't have the work ethic for it.
I'm doing it right now. You can't even see I have a chin-up bar. I've been hanging here for minutes. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why it's such a pain in the like why it's so hard. Maybe it's because all your weight is just hanging there for 100 seconds. But
grip, forearms.
Yeah, which I have all of. So my grip is crazy, Bob. Ask Jared, he'll tell you.
I'm in the rice bucket every day.
They used to call me Grip back in high school.
Yeah, that's good for longevity and health.
Yeah.
Grip. No, seriously, like grip strength. Yeah. So old people that have good grip strength, that's a determining factor as to like how long you're going to live.
All right. Very good.
I don't know why. Right. I don't know what the correlation to that is. I've heard people say that like it has to do with like if you fall down, you have to be able to like grab something to pull yourself up. But that doesn't make too much sense to me because you have to use more than just your grip strength to get yourself up off the ground.
It's just like an indicator. It's so because they use it as an indicator for like readiness with what you would consider generally healthy people. Like you can go into the gym one day, have a measure of like what your average grip strength is. And if it's like 10% lower on that day, then your body's kind of shot. So you like take it a little bit easier and use it as feedback. So what you could argue is if someone's like 70 years old and their grip strength is remarkably higher than other 70-year-olds, then it's just an indication that person is a lot more healthier. Like they're a little bit more stronger, their nervous system's a little bit more ready. Whereas if they're like really shitty, then yeah, that person's probably a little bit less healthy or a little bit less lively, whatever. So they are more likely to fall, or it's an indicator of like they might have underlying health issues, all that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I feel bad for old people because I worked at an old folks home before. These guys would take, when nothing's breaking your fall, you know what I mean? When they just like whatever they land on, they are eating it. So like the next day I come into work, I'm like, what the hell? Like somebody beat the living shit out of you. They're like, nah, I fell. But like when they fall, there's nothing there. Their forehead is legitimately slamming on that toilet or whatever. It's awful. It's awful.
No, I just fell into a doorknob.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally ate that entire doorknob.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really sad. But all right, guys. Well, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on anytime. The door's always open.
All right. Well,
Literally.
Let's make plans.
You have the link to get in literally anytime you want. So
well, let's make plans and I'll cancel last minute as always.
Yeah, all right.
Or I won't respond at all. You like that?
That's an option too.
Gino, I did something worse than ghosting. I ghosted Jared and then still responded to him the next day saying like, nah, sorry, I can't. Even though the whole thing's already passed, it's already late. I didn't respond. Then I'm just like, nah, sorry, I can't make it couldn't make it yesterday or whatever. So, all right, guys, take care, be safe. And as Jerry Springer says, take care of yourselves and each other.
Happy Passover.
All right. Hey, you too.
And
if you like grilling, go to www.grillyourassoff.com, promo code Reality Tonic to save yourself. It's either 10 or 15%. I get it mixed up all the time.
Wrong show. It's Sarcasm Pod for 15% off.
Sarcasm Pod. You know what's gonna mess you guys up is that pod part. Should have just been Sarcasm Speaks,
Too many words.
I'll talk to the guys over there. I'll see if I can change it for you. I get a really good relationship with Bill over there.
Bill? Who's Bill?
Bill over at grillyourassoff.com.
Oh, really? Do you mean Jason?
Yeah, Jason.
The guy that owns it, Jason Murph. Yeah.
I call him Jay, but
yeah, okay. Yeah.
He's an all right dude. I get seasonings from him on the low.
Because I actually do know him.
Yeah, well, I know Jay.
But I know who he is.
What's his last name again?
Don't worry about it.
Exactly. That's right.
Murph. You don't know how to spell it though.
MERF.
Nope, 2 F's. MURFF.
MURPH. All right, guys. Take care. Be safe. Bye-bye now.
Later.
All right. You got a final thought?
Yeah, I do. It's quick and painless. I would just like to give credit to the city of Cambridge, Massachusetts. I did notice that they have bicycle traffic lights. So you have your regular traffic lights. And then in the shape of a bicycle, I saw a red light away from, like, down off to the side, away from the regular traffic light. So of course, because it's Cambridge, they need to be first. So it's like, gotta obviously put the bike lanes in, and people hate bike lanes. So they one of the arguments they try to use is, oh, well, they don't even follow traffic patterns. Well, now they have their own lights. So I wonder if you can get a ticket on a bike. I don't know, whatever. So the cyclist traffic lights are in Cambridge. On that same road, which happens to be McGrath Highway. It's where McGrath Highway, if you go over McGrath Highway and come down, that's where I saw the traffic light for bikes. Going the other way, they have a lane on McGrath Highway closed because the road has literally just like eroded. Like the road, the lane of street is so shitty that they just coned it off.
Wow.
But they have bicycle traffic lights. So credit
Money
to Cambridge.
Well spent.
Yeah, credit to Cambridge. They have bicycle traffic lights, but their roads are in disrepair.
Yeah. That's awesome. So speaking of roads, I also have a relatively brief final thought. So Amy and I went to my mom's today up in New Hampshire for Easter or Passover or Ramadan. I don't know, pick one. And on the way back, we're driving on the highway and I see all kinds of like Connecticut, New York license plates. I saw Virginia, like all these things. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, that's fucking stupid. right? So like somebody from New York drove 4+ hours to family in Massachusetts to hang out for anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, maybe a little bit more than that. And now then you have to get back in your car and drive 4+ hours back to New York. And now that's just assuming that they live in a part of New York that's like close to Massachusetts. Like, God forbid they live like, near the Finger Lakes or, upstate, like way upstate, like maybe not so much Syracuse, you know what I mean? Like all of this crazy shit, right? And I'm like, this is stupid. This is dumb. Traveling that far for one day might be the dumbest thing ever. If you want me to go that far somewhere, I'm probably going to want to like hang out and like stay the night. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, so most of my family lives in New Hampshire. And if not New Hampshire, like, the North Shore of Massachusetts. But like when I go to stay with my cousins that live like way up in the Lakes region, like I go up and I generally stay there. Like very, very rarely do I drive 3 hours to wherever it is in New Hampshire that I'm going, whether it's, Ragged Mountain or Bristol, New Hampshire, or anywhere like that. And then like get back in the car and then drive another 3 hours home. Because it's not enjoyable and it's fucking dumb. And I don't know why people do it. Like I don't know. It's like, and then people are going to be like, well, it's a holiday. You have to be with your family. No, you don't. No, you don't. Just fucking sit at your house, cook your dinner, do whatever you do. Like, how could you have a holiday and not see your family?
Sounds like a great holiday.
Fucking easy. Yeah. Right. Like, sounds like the best fucking holiday ever. It's like,
there was a Christmas where we had some COVID issues floating around. So I didn't even live here at the time, but I stayed here. And I watched the 2013 National Championship, Florida State.
Yep.
It was the first time I had rewatched it. It might have been 2020 Christmas. I went to my parents' house for like 15 minutes total. No, less than. I was in and out in 6 minutes because I remember my mother had potentially a close contact with COVID or whatever, but I bought them a TV. So I was like, I'm bringing you this TV.
Right.
So I was in and out of the house in 6 minutes. I remember that. Came back to where I live now, which was not where I lived then, and watched that, started drinking, played football, and called you shit-faced, saying that we needed to go to New Orleans. It was one of the better holidays I've had.
Yeah. And it was 3 years ago on Easter. I mean, granted, we were nursing one of the worst hangovers ever, but like we didn't do anything. We hung out at the house. Oh,
that was bad.
I made the lamb, right? And then I threw it all up later that night. But like, that was great. We didn't have to go anywhere.
That was gym moving weekend.
Yeah. And it's like one of those things where people are like, oh, well, come on. And so I think I'm not finalized yet, but I have like the beginnings of like a theory or a theorem, if you will. The amount of time necessary for travel needs to underweigh the amount of time that I'm there by a minimum of 2 hours.
I was gonna ask you what's the cutoff? Like, how far would you drive?
But so my thing is, it's not only just the amount of time that I spend there, but I have to want to spend the time there too, right? So if I what I'm trying to say is, like, if it's a 4-hour drive, right? That's 8 hours in the car in a day, right? Because you're 4 hours there, 4 hours back. So like I would have to spend 10 hours at the location in order for me to be worth it.
And mathematically that doesn't work out.
And mathematically, one, that doesn't work. And two, I probably don't want to spend 10 hours there.
No.
So like I'm looking at, like, I think somewhere around 2 to 2.5 hours as like the furthest I would drive, because that would be, no, that's still even too much, because that's a 5-hour drive, which would mean I have to spend 7 hours wherever I'm going. And which means I would need to want to spend 7 hours wherever I'm going.
So on a lighter note, how far would you drive to play one round of golf to turn around and drive back after?
See, that's different because I enjoy that.
Yeah, I know it is, but that's why I'm switching the subject, because we all know family sucks, and there's going to be idiots that drive 3 hours each way just to fucking do whatever bullshit holiday it is.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to drive 30 minutes to go to where I need to go. So
I would say, depending on the place, let's say 3-ish hours.
Let's say,
like, if you tell me,
let's say it's not a bucket list course.
Okay.
Because like
3 hours.
Because if we knew someone in New York, Ian, and he's gonna go, if he wants to go sleep in the Bethpage parking lot. Yeah, I'll drive to Bethpage.
Exactly. Like that you literally took the words right out of my mouth. Just hashtag RIP Meatloaf. I was about to say, if you tell me we're going to go play Bethpage, I'm driving to Bethpage.
Yeah, let's say it's not a bucket list course. Let's just say it's a nice place, but like, I'll give you like some examples. So like within Massachusetts, Taconic is like 3 hours. It's supposed to be like the nicest public in the state. The Ranch is like 2 hours in Southwick, actually in the town of Southwick.
Right. Not Mendon, nice. Whereas the Southwick Zoo.
Right. Crump and Fox, I believe, is like 2 and change.
I would say 3 hours. I would throw, if it's not a bucket list course, I would throw the cap at 3 hours.
All right. Okay.
So Taconic is in play.
Yeah, Taconic is in Williamstown, where Williams College is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's where Taconic is. Fuck, that just seems far.
Yeah. And this is again for one day, right? So like, obviously, like,
no, this is
my bachelor party is in upstate New York, so like that's a 4 hour.
No, it's less. It's like I think it's a
3 hour. Yeah, but we're staying for the whole like 4 days, so that's fine.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot, because the way I'm looking at it is, you go, I mean, you might want to eat before, play, eat after, leave, but like that's it. Like that is the day. And you think like 3 hours of driving each way, 6 hours, 4.5 hour round, 10.5 hours. Fuck, that's just a long time.
Yeah, that's a long day.
I mean, it seems a lot worse if you leave at 6 a.m.
Right.
There by 9. Eat something quick, play at 9:30. What's 4 hours from there? Yeah, you'd be back by 6.
Yeah.
If there's no traffic. Which I don't know how a traffic pattern would work. Going out to the northwesternmost part of the state.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd do 3. Because I was thinking about, because when I drove to Truro, that was 1:50, and I didn't mind that at all. But I didn't drive home that day.
Yeah,
we stayed.
I think 2 hours is fair, and that's why I put the cap at the limit is 3. Like I feel like, and so 3 is like the line, right? So, but then it also, like I said before, too, comes into play. Like, if Taconic is known as the nicest public course in the state, but it's 3 hours away, I would drive 3 hours for that. I wouldn't drive 3 hours for a course that's equivalent to
the Muni,
Maplegate. You know what I mean? Like because we played Maplegate this morning in Bellingham. Like, if that course existed in Lee, Massachusetts, I'm not going to drive to Lee to play Maplegate.
Oh, you don't want to play Lenox Municipal?
Yeah. So it's a sliding scale thing there for me, at least.
Yeah. I don't know how far I'd go. 2 seems to be a nice number.
2 is great. I think 2 is the sweet spot. Well, obviously you would want less, but 2 is
45 minutes is good too.
Yeah, 45 minutes is fucking ideal. But 2 hours is fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna bitch that I have to drive 2 hours to play a course like Truro, or like a like a red fox or whatever the fuck that one is
Red tail.
called. Red tail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to complain about 2 hours to go to those places.
Luckily, red tail's only one.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, 2 hours gets you pretty far out.
It does.
Springfield.
Massachusetts is not that big.
No. Like Springfield, I think.
Yeah.
Ish. Maybe beyond.
Yeah.
I think you get beyond.
So,
All right.
well, that's going to do it for us. Hopefully no one listened to this had to travel that far. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, again, thumbs up, subscribe, rate, review, tell everybody you know about the show. Subscribe wherever you're listening to, whatever audio service you use. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks. The Facebook page is Sarcasm Speaks. The website is sarcasmspeaks.com. You can go to mybookie.com. Use the promo code Sarcasm Pod to double your first deposit up to $1,000. You can also use that same exact promo code Sarcasm Pod at grillyourassoff.com for 15% off your entire order every single time you check out. So that is all of it. So until next time, good night.